Welcome back to my channel, folks. My name's Shane. So today we're going to try to make this sound like this, as well as 4 other guitars. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name's Shane. So you might be thinking, how on earth are you going to get one of these to sound like one of these, or even get this to sound like my Strat? So I got sent this really cool little thing that's kind of similar to the Kemper, but what it does, it actually profiles your guitars. And when I say it's similar to the Kemper, it's only the size of a pedal. Let's check it out. So here it is up close. This is the tone capture guitar from Mooer or Mooer, however you're supposed to say that. And what it will do, it will profile up to 7 different guitars, as you can see on these LEDs over here. And then you also have to program in the source guitar, which will be the one that you'll be doing the playing with. And once you've got all of them set and you want to change guitars and actually play, say, a 335 instead of a Strat or vice versa, you only have to re-profile the source guitar, which makes it very, very functional and easy to use. Now, one of the things I found while using this is once you profile a guitar, the inherent differences in the output volume is very apparent. So what you want to do is just change up the level. Now, these controls are very, very sensitive. You only need to move them a little bit. Not that they'll start crying or anything, but they're very sensitive in terms of, how much it will actually do just by a slight move. So start with everything at 12 o'clock when you profile it, and then you can knock the bass up or down depending on the guitar. So what I want to do in this video is take my 52 reissue Telecaster and see if we can use that as the source guitar, the one that we'll be playing, to get it to sound like all of the other guitars that we're going to be profiling into this. And at the end, we'll get the 335 out and we'll see if we can make it sound like a Strat, and I'll show you how to shape the tones and all that kind of stuff. So a massive thanks to Mooer, that's how I pronounce it, it's probably wrong, for sending this out. I really appreciate it. If you want to find out more about this, links will be in the description below. Let's do it. So the first thing you want to do is profile your guitars. Now you can do up to 7. For this particular test, I'm going to pick 4, because 4 is more than enough to give you a good approximation of how well this works with very different sounding guitars with very different sounding characteristics as well. So let's give this a shot. Now what you want to do is pick a pickup. So I'm going to go neck pickup on this guitar, and we click it on and the light comes up under number 1 over here. Now if you want to profile to a different slot, you can tap this button and it will cycle through to the next slot. We then push the button in again and hold it until the light goes red. And on the next press, all we have to do is play some open chords and play with the same sort of attack you might have when you actually play. I think that's always a good thing when you profile anything. And you'll see the lights move. Lights stop flashing, done, nice and quick. So just to show you how to get to position 2, just quickly, what you want to do is hit this target source button until you get to the second position. Hold the button in, same process as before, click it again, and then profile the next guitar. Now, not to bore you, I'll do the rest of them off camera. Once you've got all the profiles of the guitars that you want to store in this actual device, now what you need to do is do the host guitar. So if I'm going to play a tele like I am and try to make it sound like all of the other guitars, I need to capture this guitar as the source, which is when the light is blue over here. Now, if I want to swap to a Les Paul at some point or something like that, I then just have to reprofile the source. I don't have to mess with it again in terms of all the others up to 7 that you can actually store. So let's give this a shot. I'm gonna make the light go blue by clicking it. And now we're gonna actually capture the neck pickup on this guitar. So here we go. So what you're going to hear right now is the Telecaster trying to sound like each of the guitars, and then you'll actually hear the guitar without the pedal on. So here we go. It's neck pickup trying to sound like a Strat. I got a tell you, it doesn't sound like my Tele. I know that much. And now with the tone capture off, so this is the tone of the Strat. You're going to hear the single coil buzz, but listen for the tone. Probably has a little bit more tops. Let's go back. There's not a lot in it. To my ear, it just sounds like the volume's not quite as loud with the IR. Let's try this. That's hilarious. This is with it off. This is my Tele. All right, over to the next one. Over to the next guitar, which was the Harley Benton with the Gretsch style pickups, and I actually profiled the bridge pickup on that, but this is the Telecaster trying to sound like that. So here we go, neck pickup. Not bad. There's some slight differences, and off camera too, I actually just nudged up the volume control a bit. This profile was really quiet for whatever reason. It seems to be the way when you profile any guitar in particular, you've just got to sort of tweak it just that little bit to get it right. And now an A-B switch would be ideal for really nailing the tones, but this is just a straight up capture with only very minor adjustments. So I think that sounded pretty cool. And now over to the Telecaster, trying to sound like the PRS SE. Let's see if it nails this. This is the neck pickup. And the actual guitar. It's pretty close. This sounds like it doesn't quite have as much brightness as the actual Tele profile, so we'll tweak that up. Let's go back. Anytime you see the light flashing on the pedal as well, it's just because I've got it modified. Let's give this a shot. It's probably a little bassy, but that's just probably the pickup. Now what I can do, take the bass out of it a little bit. Not bad. And now over to the profile of the ES335. And now with the pedal off, neck pickup. Now this one definitely sounds a little bit darker, so I'm going to go ahead and mod the little patch that we've made for this one and see if we can get it a little bit closer. So here we go. All I want to do, turn it on, maybe turn the treble down a little bit, bring the bass up just a hair. You only need to do little bits with this thing. There's still a little bit too much sparkle on the top end. Now don't worry if your ears aren't quite like mine are with picking out frequencies. I've been recording and doing all kinds of stuff over the years, so I can hear these little differences between the guitars to some extent, at least anyway. Let's go back. pretty close. Now I could fine tune that more. It would be much easier with an AB box just going between them to really dial in the EQ. But overall, that's pretty close. So what I want to do now is make the 335 sound like a Strat. So let's reprofile this as the host and we should be good to go. All right, so I've now captured this guitar. Let's see if it can sound like the Strat. Position number 1. I'm not touching anything else. I can already tell it sounds great. Yeah. And now over to the Strat. It's funny, this isn't quite as loud, which is something that I've noticed, so I'm just going to turn the level up. The buttons are really fiddly. I'm scoop out a little mids, maybe a little bass as well. Shut your eyes, that sounds like a Strat. Now it does respond differently, it actually feels different to play. The way that it breaks up is different to how the Strat would break up when I use certain types of attack, but the overall tone is there, especially on that single note stuff. Cool. Thanks for watching, folks. My name's Shane. So what do I think of this thing overall? I'd say as soon as you profile a guitar, it's probably about 85% of the way there. It's not quite perfect, but some sound better than others. Like if you're playing a Strat to a Tele, there's not a whole lot of difference in their output of the actual pickups and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to sound pretty similar. It's once you start going from humbuckers to single coils, it means you just need to sort of tweak the EQ a little bit, or the volume, or the level, which is called on here, a little bit to get it to match, and that's no big deal. Once it's like that, you can save it and you're good to go. So nice and simple. The only downside to this is I don't really feel like it's much of a live tool. I feel like something like this would be better suited to someone playing at home or doing some recordings and all that kind of stuff. The reason I say that is to swap between each of these on the fly is impossible. So if you've got 7 different patches and you want to switch between them, this is just an on-off button, right? So you can't just sort of hit something with your foot and have it cycle through. So that's food for thought as well. I don't think that's a design flaw or anything. It's just the way that it is. It's probably designed more for people at home. Now, I was playing this through the Kemper, which is also a very similar type of technology to this. That whole impulse response thing, you profile your amps and it stores it, and it does that extremely well. That probably approximates it slightly closer than something like this, but for the price they're asking for this, if you wanted something that you can just, you know, put your favorite pickup combinations and guitars into this, it's really cool. So overall, I had a lot of fun doing this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A massive thanks to Mooer for sending this out. I really appreciate that. Spell it phonetically in the comments so I know exactly how I'm supposed to pronounce that name, but it's M-O-O, so that's Moo, right? And E-R, Mooer. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Catch you soon. See ya.
Please consider dropping a thumbs up on the video if you made it this far. Your support is greatly appreciated.